Well, good Friday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up those football gods here. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow night, the Dallas Cowboys will be back in action against the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get over them being no longer in San Diego. It just does not sound natural for them to be in Los Angeles. But be it as it is, they are the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Dallas Cowboys will be playing against them tomorrow night. Don't expect to see Dak and Zeke and our starters out there. Again, we'll hopefully see a lot of Will Grier, hopefully pushing Cooper Rush for that number 2 quarterback position. Now, let's get open. I did get open. Boy, all these meds I've been taking for this cold, they seem to be working, and they seem to have kind of gone to my head a little bit here. But hopefully I'll get through this without doing any coughing. You know, Stephen Jones, okay? Stephen Jones, the one thing you say about Stephen Jones is he's never going to lie to you. He's not going to cover you with a whole bunch of bullshit. He's going to tell you point blank, we are not going to spend a lot of money in free agency, and of course he hasn't. We're not going to sign any big-name free agents, and he hasn't. So should we believe him when he says that Dak Prescott has had the best camp of his career? I think so. I think when you've seen Dak, you have not seen any of those duck passes. You know what I mean? Where it's literally like it's flying, like it's like quack, quack. You know, the Carson Wentz or the Daniel Jones special, or the Jalen Hurts quack. You know, the quack. It's just, you know, you've seen tight spirals that are literally dropped in the breadbasket. You've seen even Hail Marys. Hail Mary, come with me. You know, Hail Marys that are even connecting against the Chargers. Dak is not going to be the problem this year. We can definitely say that one. Now, interesting thing here is, actually, let's go to this clip of Dak thoughts now that they are going to be finished. They're going to have the scrimmage, of course, tomorrow, the preseason game, and then they will go back to the Star. There'll be 2 opportunities for you, the fan, to still catch the Cowboys working out at the Star Fan Fest, you know, fan appreciation, and you know how the circus goes. The surface, the traveling road show that is the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones, the marketing genius that he is, will be doing things for you, the fan, at the Star. But let's listen to Dak Prescott. I thought I was going to get through it. But my apologies. Let's listen to Dak.
Better than yesterday. I think obviously it helps us being on the main field, getting the fans, getting a little bit of that energy. Knowing this is our last day against them, we could be a little bit more chippy, I guess you could say. But it was great. It was great work. Both teams came out, decided to, we came to work, we came about business. Let's make sure we do that, no fighting. And I felt like it went well over the last 2 days.
With this being the last practice before you go back to Frisco, where does this offense stand overall in your eyes, and what do you need to work on most once you get back?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to continue to work on everything. We've only, 3 weeks in or so. So, I mean, everything's got to continue, got to get better. We've got another 2 or 3 weeks before this gets real. So when we get back, we're just going to continue to focus in on the details. Obviously, control things we can control. You look at the last game, get better at the penalties, self-inflicting errors, and just keep pushing, trying to stack good days on top of good days, working on chemistry and all that aspects of the offense. Yeah, definitely good to end on that note, and just being in that situation in the game, having to go Hail Mary with the clock running.
Hail Mary.
Good job of protecting, giving me a lane, letting me buy some time, jumped up in there, and I saw Simi and Dennis felt like they had a good shot at it and put it up, and I felt like it was just them 2 fighting for it, and glad we came down with it. I do what I'm asked to do. Being the quarterback of this team, and anytime you're playing this position, you know your responsibilities to get other guys to go, to come with you, to get other guys to be locked in, be disciplined. There's no different whether receiver core is old or young. They look for me for better than yesterday. I think obviously it helps.
All right, so that's what we got from Dak Prescott. Now, here's an interesting piece here. I'm going to show you actually a difference, okay? Whenever I say something about Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, people will say, how dare you compare the two? But, okay, you know what? Kiss my ass, okay? I don't care if you don't like me using this analogy, but here's the thing. Dak and Aaron Rodgers actually are kind of in the same situation here right now. Dak may actually be in a better one because he does have CeeDee Lamb. But when you look at what happened with Aaron Rodgers losing Davante Adams, everybody's focused in on the Cowboys losing Amari Cooper and losing Cedric Wilson. At least we have CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, who, has people have questions on whether he's really a number one or if he needs a number one to really thrive, the drop passes and things like that. This is really a prove-it year for CeeDee Lamb as well. Aaron Rodgers, last year, passing attack was Davante Adams. Davante Adams, far and away, was literally about 38% of the pass catching from Aaron Rodgers. And so now he's got a lot of guys that are, Randall Cobb, who is older. Oh, by the way, Randall Cobb's best season in recent history has been with Dak Prescott. And that's after being with the bad man again, Aaron Rodgers, and being with Deshaun Watson. Just kind of pointing that out there. But Aaron Rodgers went off in the media about his young pass catchers. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers shouldn't go off on the guys about, putting a foot in their ass and getting them on the same page and motivating them. Not at all. But why do it to the media? Why go ahead and trash your teammates, especially young guys that are just starting out? So exactly what he said was, Rodgers on Tuesdays told some reporters that of his pass catchers, especially the young ones, have had a lot of drops, a lot of bad route decisions, running the wrong routes. We've got to be better than that. Okay, you know what? Talk to the guys there one-on-one. Why put this doubt and put them on blast to the public eye? So they ended up having a meeting with the quarterbacks, the coaches, and Aaron Rodgers, which basically ended up being, let's calm this shit down. Match that with what Dak Prescott is doing, because Dak Prescott, you got CD, who really is only in his third year. He's not exactly, a wily gray-beard veteran here. He's still pretty new. He's only had 2 seasons under him. You've got guys who are now in here who have never caught a touchdown pass in the NFL. Instead of trashing them, Dak is pumping them up, making them feel good. Because, see, my mind is this, and maybe I'm old school, maybe I'm an idiot and things like that, but in my mind, you want people to feel good about what they're doing. You want them to feel excited, because when people feel good about what they're doing, even when they make mistakes, when you pat them on the back and say, hey, look, you messed up on that route. Here's what you need to do to get this right. We can do this. You're going to motivate them to work harder as opposed to saying, screw this guy. And this has been the problem with Aaron Rodgers, has always been that kind of diva guy. People have asked me, oh, I'll take Aaron Rodgers in a heartbeat. Don't come at me, well, we lost in the first round of the playoffs to the 49ers. Yeah, we did. We did. At least my quarterback rushed for a touchdown and threw a touchdown pass. The next week, coming off of an extra week of rest, on the frozen tundra against a West Coast team that doesn't know what freezing is, Aaron Rodgers didn't get in the end zone. The team scored 10 points. So don't give me this, well, I'll take Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers lost to Jimmy Garoppolo, who only had 108 yards. Yeah. But they don't talk about that kind of stuff. But people have asked, oh, I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Dak Prescott anytime. Leadership. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers has it. Everything about Aaron Rodgers is about Aaron frickin' Rodgers. But, I'm sure some Cowboy fans would love to have Aaron Rodgers over Dak Prescott. And that's your opinion. And you are right to have your own opinion. But let's listen to my buddy here, Rich Eisen, about the situation.
A seasoned-long story arc, as we say in the business. In the NFL, there's week-to-week storylines, and then there's an arc that goes through the entire season, where you take a look. The Bills, that's a storyline for the entire season. They're expected to go all the way to the Super Bowl.
They are.
And maybe win it. So that's a season-long storyline arc. That's, by the way, that's a Hollywood term, isn't it? It's a screenwriter's term. It's a scriptwriter's term. An arc.
Character arc.
It's not. It's not like you're putting animals by two. It's an actual.
No, Andy.
Design or shape, an arc. So here's a storyline arc for the entire season. How will the Packers offense look without Davante Adams? How will they be able to navigate a full 17-game, 18-week season with 12 not having 17? How will that look? Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS, as he's known in GB, he's now in KC, and I pointed out how he's going to fit in quite well there, I think. And, Alan Lazard, it's time for Lazard to step up to be a number one guy, and Aaron Rodgers has been talking him up and believes he can be a number one guy, even had his tongue firmly planted in cheek in his first press availability of the summer, saying that he's going from Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer as well at his position, as Davante Adams referred to Derek Carr in Vegas. And how's it working with the kids? Are the kids all right? Romeo Doubs, who was drafted at the position this past year, he caught the first touchdown of the preseason. Nice throw from Jordan Love. What about practice? That's where things have to come together. That's when Aaron Rodgers gives that high sign to somebody, that little look, right? How's it going? Apparently not so great. This is a man who chooses his words very carefully. He understands that what comes out of his mouth, certainly when it involves behind-the-scenes adults about an issue that he knows is going to be talked about, he knows is a season-long storyline arc. He knows when he talks about this stuff, it will stand out. And he talked about it. This is what he had to say after, apparently, a Tuesday practice that didn't go all that well with his young wide receivers dropping some passes.
The young guys, they got to, especially young receivers, we got to be way more consistent. A lot of drops, a lot of bad route decisions, run the wrong route. So we gotta get better in that area. If you keep dropping the ball, you're not gonna be out there. So it's gonna be the most reliable guys that are out there. The preparation and the job responsibility is most important. There's gonna be physical mistakes that we talked about, but if you're going out there and dropping the ball and somebody else behind you is in the right spot all the time and catching the ball, that guy's going to play. It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up. It really is. We're going to play our best guys, when the season starts. And
is he the coach now?
Those guys are going to get the reps. And it's the guys I trust the most and the guys that the coaching staff trust the most. And a lot of it is just the simple responsibility in the offense. Way before, body positioning and movement and the throw and all that stuff, are you in the right spot at the right time? Are you running the right route?
There you go. That is public. The professor calling out the students. Need to show your work a little bit better. You need to come to class more prepared. You need to get ready for the big test coming up on September 11th in Minnesota.
A team that did beat you last year.
So says Aaron Rodgers. And this is unique. He doesn't usually do this sort of thing at all.
Okay.
What does he usually do? Well, we actually got a glimpse of what he usually does behind the scenes in practice, in training camp, with young players to hold them accountable. And usually these folks have their P's and Q's already lined up. Everything's usually buttoned up because Aaron Rodgers expects it, and you don't want to disappoint him. Aaron Jones told us exactly that when he appeared on this show last month.
He's our leader. He gets everybody going. He holds everybody accountable and to a high standard. He expects greatness out of you, and you just got to prove yourself day in, day out with him.
Can you give me an example of how he does that, please, Aaron Jones?
Yeah. So we might be in the huddle, and it might be a certain play called, and he might get up to the line of scrimmage just to see if guys have been in their playbook or studying, change up the play, throw out a signal, and really give him a little chance to communicate. But if you're weren't in your playbook, he's gonna know on that play. And then he'll come out and he'll talk to you, pull you to the side, and like, hey, this is why I changed it. I'm testing you, and you see him do it a lot to the younger guys, and then that's how they know, hey, like I got to gain his trust. I want to be on the field. I got to know this stuff.
Have you seen him do that to somebody on a certain play, and then when it comes time to actually use it in the game, he uses it to success, and then they kind of share a moment like, remember back in July, back in August? That's why we did it. Have you witnessed that?
I've seen it happen many times, and that's what it's about. In practice, you're not going to be perfect, but you get it down, and you make that mistake, but you don't make that mistake again, and you learn from it. And then when it's time to go execute it, you go execute it, and you look back at those moments, and those are teaching and learning moments, and you thank them. You really thank them for that.
That's it. Which one of these wide receivers in week 3, week 4, week 5 is going to thank him for that? Is it Dobbs? Dobbs had that touchdown pass, but he's a rookie. Juwan Winfrey, year 3. What else we got? Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, year 2 for him.
Year 2 for him. Who's going to step up? Because it's Watkins, Cobb at the wide receiver position, and Lazard. And one of them goes down. You need a 4th receiver. You need a 5th receiver. Who's going to step up? And Rodgers is on the case. And he has felt compelled to say something publicly. I will add another Rodgers phrase to the equation. Relax. R-E-L-A-X. He's got it.
He ain't relaxing this time.
He's got it. But if he's going to start throwing around and there's going to be some dropsies and things of that nature, somebody's going to hear it. And you know who's not going to feel the pressure? It won't be Rodgers. It'll be the players who don't catch the ball. And then essentially Gutekunst, right? The groceries. Who's shopping for them? August 16th. I know today's the 17th. But August 16th, remember that date when Aaron Rodgers stepped out to the microphone and talked about family business with people outside the family. So there is cause for concern right now, but Rodgers has a process. You heard about it with Aaron Jones. Maybe he is just switching up the play at the last second to see who knows what's what, because he knows now's the time to do it. Now's the time to do it. Heaven forbid, week 1, September 11th, looks like week 1 for the Packers last year. Remember when they got the doors blown off?
For the Saints.
Remember that? In Jacksonville.
Right.
Because the Saints couldn't play in the Superdome because of the hurricane. And so, you remember that? Boy, it'll be DEFCON 1 there because everyone will feel they don't have the horses. Last year, that wasn't the issue. Remember, I think, was it Cowher who said that Rodgers looked like he didn't care or something like that?
He cares this year, but doesn't have the horses.
Conspiracy that he was tanking.
He was tanking because he wouldn't have his contract. He was an unhappy camper still because he came back late, too, and he wasn't there in the offseason. It was Rodgers' fault. And, of course, as you know, they wound up being the 1 seed anyway. So I guess RELAX.
They won 7 in a row after that.
But the guy who RELAX is for you felt the need to say something. Put a pin in that. That's part of the storyline, season-long storyline arc for the Green Bay Packers.
So still no pressure for Aaron?
Nope.
None? Okay.
No, I mean, what is he going to put pressure on himself to keep throwing the ball exactly where it needs to be? He can't control the youth and the greenness of these Green Bay Packer receivers. How can he control it? What he can do is coach them up and put the pressure on them. Hey, man, this is Aaron freaking Rodgers in the remaining window of his career. It could last as long as Brady's window, until he's 45. But, I mean, right now, it's a pretty big year. But there's still no pressure on him. What's the pressure?
The pressure is to elevate these young kids to superstar status.
No. He's trying. He's called him out in the media now. So
interesting.
This is part of his
This is really interesting.
He hasn't really had to pull out because he's got Devontae Adams leading the charge last few years.
So are we now saying that other players matter besides the quarterback?
On ice.
Are we now setting this? Hold up.
Don't take that cheese.
Hold up. See, the reason that Aaron Rodgers is out here talking about his receivers is he's out there actually saying, hello, I don't have the help that I need, that these guys are running bad routes. These guys are dropping passes. These guys don't need to be out here. He's pointing the finger to say, it's not me. I'm the greatest player in the world. These guys are ass. But it's so funny because when it comes to Dak Prescott, we always hear that great quarterbacks elevate the players around them. Isn't that what we always hear? So, we have Cowboy fans that are literally saying that Dak Prescott, who's got, the Dallas Cowboys record last year on one leg of more touchdown passes than any other quarterback in one single season, throwing and being a top 10 quarterback, okay, some people argue that he's even higher than top 10, that he needs to go because Dak Prescott's not taking care of business. He's not elevating and doing these things that people claim. But here, Aaron Rodgers is already setting up the narrative that, well, listen, I don't have the guys. Kind of like Jenna Wolf, Dak Prescott. He needs those guys. When the reality is all those guys need guys to catch the football. I remember last year, the great Roger Staubach saying, I could throw the perfect pass, but if I don't have Drew Pearson there catching the football, I'm not in the Hall of Fame, which is true. It's a team sport. And yes, you need to have a great quarterback to win. But that's not enough. Because if it were only about the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, 3-time MVP, he'd win it every year by himself. You wouldn't hear him complaining about his receivers being ass. It's time to recognize it is a team sport. And so we'll see how this narrative plays out. Because I guarantee you, if the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver core fails, they'll say that Dak Prescott stinks. He couldn't elevate the players. I bet if the Green Bay Packers fail, in the same breath, they'll say, well, Aaron Rodgers throwing to nobody. You watch and wait and see. All right, good people, tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, we will have our usual live stream at 9 o'clock. Be sure to join in. And, of course, if you are into fantasy football, and shout out to Stacy Schubert sending me the guy clip of fantasy. It's just a fantasy. Yeah, my voice is still not there, but even if it was, it's still not there. Fantasy football, go to jobufantasy@gmail.com. Sign up. Brother Roz will get you hooked up. Right now, I think we have 2 or 3 leagues that are set up at the moment, and depending on how many people do want to join, we'll have more. I think we had 5 last year, and we're doing this in the memory of my buddy, Stuart Morrison. And as always, you know how we roll.
Our Coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!